Hi, Alex Favola here. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve a youthful and glowy base using just a couple of products. We're going to talk about micro concealing. Basically, less is more, so stay tuned and I'll show you my daily routine. So as we get older and our skin starts to age, we want to avoid using too much product, and that's where micro concealing comes into the picture. Basically, you use a tiny amount of concealer, apply it with your fingertips or a fluffy eyeshadow brush. Basically, you want to apply it right in the very corner of your eye where the darkness starts, and then just press it out, work it out with your fingertips and really press it into the skin. The biggest issue I hear from clients is that concealer can actually enhance the fine lines around their eyes. So to avoid that, we're going to use minimal product and we're not going to drag it out too far. Just keep it in that inner corner. Okay, now I'm going to grab my dual-ended face wand. I'm going to take the flat end and I'm going to apply my Face Base Luminous Foundation. I'm going to start by dispersing the product that's on my brush all over the bottom half of my face, and then I'm going to start working it into the skin using a pressing and buffing motion. Now, the reason I'm using this product is because I found that as I've got older, my skin is a little bit more textured. I still want coverage, but I don't want a heavy cakey finish. And I find this foundation gives me a lovely coverage, a beautiful glowy finish, but it's really quite weightless on the skin and it doesn't cake. So therefore it doesn't enhance fine lines, it doesn't show up any texture, and it just leaves me with a really nice youthful glow. So pressing it in a circular motion until you've got a really nice coverage, and then we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Glow palette. I'm going to use the shade Illuminator and I'm going to cover my entire lid, so all over the mobile lid and right up to the brow. And I'm going to pack it on quite thick. I want it to be quite an opaque finish, and that is going to act as a nice luminous base before placing my Dreamtime eyeshadow on top. I'm also just going to take that illuminator down the bridge of my nose. I'm not going to go right to the tip. I do see a lot of people applying illuminator or highlighter to the tip of the nose, but I prefer to keep it on the bridge of the nose, and the Cupid's bow really depends on the shape of your face. Okay, now for eyes. I'm going to take my Founder's Fave eye palette and I'm going to use just one shade, Dreamtime, and I'm going to use it all over the lid and under the eye. It's super quick and easy, but really effective. I'm going to be applying with my fluffy eye blender. It's really important that you use the correct brushes for eyes, particularly because one of the biggest things I hear from clients is they have trouble blending, and it's usually down to using the wrong tools. So grab a nice big fluffy eye blender and use that to apply your eyeshadow, and make sure you apply the colour at the lowest point of your eye and then push it up and blend it out. Okay, that's the top done. Now let's grab a small bullet brush and go in with the same shade, Dreamtime, and using just soft, gentle sweeping motion under the eye to smoke out that underlash. Now to set your base, I'm going to take a mineral powder in the shade C, and I'm going to use the powder end of my face wand. I'm going to apply it mainly through my T-zone, but then lightly dust it over the rest of my face. It's going to give me a little bit more coverage, it's going to set my foundation, and it's also going to act as a protection from the sun as it's SPF 15. So just taking the face wand again, I'm going to be applying my Glow palette, Peach Punch on the apples of my cheeks, and I'm just going to be pressing that in. Use a little bit of a smile to puff your cheeks out and just press that product into the skin, and just taking it gently in an upwards motion towards your temple. You don't really need a lot of this product. It's got a very high pigment, so don't panic. If you do put too much on, you can definitely buff it out. If you apply your blush too low, it's going to drag your face down rather than lift it up. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Vegas Sunset bronzer from the Glow palette, and I'm going to use the same brush to apply that on the contours of my cheeks, up around my forehead and under my jawline. It's just going to warm up my entire complexion and also give me a little bit of contour through the cheekbone and blend into that blush beautifully. Don't forget to go underneath your jawline and down your neck a little bit, just so that it's blending seamlessly into your décolletage and that there's no colour differentiation between your jawline and your chest. I also like to bronze or contour down the sides of my nose just to thin it out a little bit. If you have a naturally thin nose, then I would suggest you don't contour. So now I'm going in with my Power Lash mascara. This mascara is both volumizing and lengthening. I'm going to keep it relatively natural today. I'm not going to apply false lashes. I'm going to go back in with some Dreamtime under the eye just to deepen it a little more. Now just going to deepen my brows a little. I do have really fair eyebrows, so I'm not going to use anything too dark or defining. I'm just going to use the light shade in our Mineral Brow Dust. It's one of the easiest brow products to use. I find it fills in all the holes really easily. It doesn't look artificial or drawn on. It's got a nice natural finish. But most of all, you would think using a dust could be quite messy and it might you might get fallout all over your face, but it's got a wax resin in it, so it just binds together and yet will settle into the gaps nicely. So it's my favourite brow product to use, particularly if you have fair eyebrows like me. Now grabbing that Conceal and Illuminate palette again, and this time I'm going to use the illuminating cream, and I'm going to illuminate along the tops of my cheekbones. This is just coming back to that micro concealing and less is more theory. I've got a really light foundation, I've got minimal concealer, and I'm applying this Glow product. It's really sheer, really weightless and really subtle, so it'll give me a really nice glow to my skin, but it's not sparkly, it's not going to highlight any textured skin or fine lines. And the other good thing is that's completely mineral. And to finish off, I'm going to apply my fave lip product, Lip Prep. It's a hydrator, a plumper, an exfoliator. It'll keep your lips in tip-top condition, and it's got a beautiful peppermint flavour. And then I'm just going to press in the slightest amount of the Duchess lipstick. And that is my everyday go-to, quick and easy, using one eyeshadow and basically 3 products for my base. You Conceal and Illuminate palette, the Glow palette, and Face Base foundation. And that's it. You're ready to go.